Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Dr. Michelle. I just wanted to pop in real quick. Um, I don't know if you guys realize, but the holidays for some is one of the most pressing times for some, especially for some women, because there's a lot of weight that we're carrying. There's a lot of pressure to have the perfect holiday, to make the food right, to have the right gifts. Financial pressure. We're at the end of the year. For those of us in business, if you haven't made your numbers, then you're ending the year in a deficit. So there's just a lot of pressure on it. And if you know anything about me, you know I am not the video person. I like to be in person to have these kind of conversations. But I was led today to pop in just to one, check and see how you're doing. Oftentimes we're talking about products and services and all of these things. And I don't want to be a part of that ecosystem and that culture all the time. I am in business, so we are going to talk about products and services sometimes, but this is not this live. This live, I want to check on you. We just went through Thanksgiving. We're still in the Black Friday season. Cyber Monday is coming up tomorrow. And again, society has us in this um, rat race, right? Do we really enjoy the holidays because we spend so much time preparing for it, executing it, and then breaking it down and trying to move into and get back into life? Where's the enjoyment in it? Did you enjoy your Thanksgiving? Did you feel good during your Thanksgiving? Did anyone check on you? If you are the matriarch of your family, did anyone stop long enough to see how you were doing? Or was everybody enjoying the food? Everyone was looking at what's next, what dessert, what did you make, what time is dinner, what. And sometimes, although we push through it, hats off to every woman out there, every mother out there, every wife out there that takes this task on to ensure that her family or friends, oftentimes we have friendsgiving, um, that we execute. We executed it according to expectations and according to standard. But what about what's in the inside? Did you get some rest after Thanksgiving? Did you take some time to do some self care and find out and listen to your body? How, I don't know about everybody else's family. I have a huge family. So the whole process of cooking for the holiday is a 19-hour process. Thank God this year, my youngest son actually decided that he wanted to come into the Thanksgiving tradition and helped me cook a lot of the meals. But that didn't change the fact that I was up, moving, building, lifting, mixing, stirring, pouring love into the food. So Friday, where I had all of these things that I needed to get done, I was spent. Like I was done. Has anybody felt that? Have you ever just, you know what you need to get done? You know that there are things that are relying on you to execute on the next day and the next day and the next day, but you're just tired. Why am I talking about this? I have a new book that's out. It's called Building While Broken. And it's not just a book. What I learned after I completed the book, this was not a part of the plan. After I completed the book, and went back through the book, it actually created this toolkit for women to help us continue to grow, continue to build, continue to become the woman that we want to be while we are now healing and mending some of those broken spaces in our lives, some of the pieces that we haven't addressed, some of the things that behind the scenes are happening. You know what I mean? Like in the front, we're pulled together. Our hair is done, our makeup's done, our conversation, we got our products, we got our services, we're building our businesses. But this book wants to really help you to address the real and the whole woman within you. If you followed me for any amount of time, you know my events, my conferences, all the things that I do focuses in on the whole woman. And I want to tell you why. Throughout my life, throughout my journey, I developed this skill set of navigating as a chameleon. I made sure that I showed up the right way. I made sure that I said the right things and did the right things and learned the things that I needed and executed according to what my assignment was and did everything that everyone expected me to do, moving really fast. And there were things within me, there were things that the insecurities, the doubt, the pain, the unresolved issues, I always looked at them as, okay, they're going to pass. This too shall pass, right? Um, I don't have time for that. That's going to be okay. Well, I'm going to tell you something that happened about 4 or 5 months ago. If you know anything about my story, you know that 7 years ago, we lost one of our sons. And even in that process, I thought about my family and I tried to do the best that I could to help them navigate through the grief. We had grief counseling, we had conversations, we did a lot as a family to try to get past that point, thinking that I was handling my grief myself, not realizing that I was doing what I've done my whole entire life. I became the fixer, but I didn't know how to navigate fixing me. Well, your body and your mind is an amazing tool. Whether you're ready for it or not, it'll show up. And my grief hit me about 5 months ago like a sledgehammer. It hit so hard that it put me in the hospital. And at that point, I felt like I was failing. Felt like I was failing my businesses. I was failing my family. I couldn't work. I couldn't function. And in the midst of all that, I have this book project, right? I've already committed to put this book out there. I had a timeline to put this book out there, but I couldn't get out the bed. So how am I supposed to finish a book and make it so that it can become another bestseller when I can't even function? Well, ironically, the title that I had chosen a year ago was called Building While Broken. And I decided to do something that I had never done with my books before. And I decided to navigate my journey within the book. I used it as a toolkit to not only help others who gets this toolkit and receives this book, but I used it to help me, Michelle. Not Dr. Michelle, not Dr. Michelle S. Thomas, but Michelle. Help Michelle pull herself out of the hole. Not look at all of the money that I lost during this time, all of the bills that was piling up, the people that I let down, the events I had to cancel, all the things that happened that would send me in a deeper spiral. I decided to use the book as my platform to rebuild the way that I looked at things. Was it really a loss? Yes. Is debt terrible? Absolutely. Is canceling things and letting people down, does it feel bad? Yes. But what's the lesson in this process? And so when the book was completed, I was so proud of this project, not just because I had a book to put out there, but because the actual tools that I put in there wasn't a surface level book. It took me through a journey of uncovering the foundation. Where does this come from? Where does these feelings come from? Where does this cycle come from that I always find myself in when things get tough? Um, and then it was, okay, so now I understand the fundamentals and the foundation of it. Now I have to understand how to overcome these setbacks. So what's those steps look like, Michelle? What do you need to do? How do you build again after having so much and feeling like you lost everything? How do you overcome those setbacks? And within the overcoming the setbacks, the next stage was to rebuild my empire, not throw it away, not quit on it, but meet it where it was and rebuild that empire. After I rebuild the empire, then it was focusing in on the strategy and the things that needed to be to sustain that. But the final portion of it was the most important key for me, is how I maintain a balance of health and well-being and mental health while I'm building this empire. And so I want to encourage you in this moment. Over the next 31 days, I am going to challenge myself to come on and do some short lives just to check on you, just to give you some words of encouragement, because there's somebody out there, out of the thousands and thousands of people who follow me, there may be just one person that needs to hear that she can come out of this. Somebody needs to know that you were built for this. Somebody needs to know that no matter what it looks like right now, no matter what the bills look like, no matter what the bank account looks like, no matter what you feel like right now, that you are in the place, in the position that you are designed to be, and that you have the exact tools to be able to come out of it. In the next 10 minutes or so, I'm about to jump on a Zoom. If you got time, listen, pop in. I created from the book, because one of the things that I learned was the fact that I spent a lot of time trying to navigate this by myself. But as I started talking about this, and I'm on a book tour right now, so every city that I go in, I hear the stories of women who talk about the same feelings and the same emotions and things that I had. But society had me believing that as an expert, I couldn't tell these things. I couldn't tell you that I was hurting. I couldn't tell you that I cried for 3 or 4 days. I couldn't tell you that I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't tell you that I didn't believe in me, even when you believed in me. And so I want to break that barrier. I want to tell it all. I want to be able to let you know, because as experts, we still have to remember that we are women also. So I just put the link, the Zoom link in there, and the Zoom link is there for you to pop in to a offer that I have. We are going to build a or create a Building While Broken peer group for women professionals. This is for women who are in the C-suites, in your high executive position. You're an owner, you're a founder, all of the titles that we give ourselves. But we're going to find that safe space for us as leaders, as women leaders, to be amongst other women leaders, to have that vulnerability. Not a space where we're going to use your information so that we can make ourselves feel better. Not a space that we're going to tell, like we're going to always tell you what to do, but a space where all of us can bring, is like a recipe. We're building our own garden of growth. We're making sure that what you learn, what I learn, what she learns in this space helps all of us, because we're about to enter into some years of some tests. And if we don't learn how to build and work together and help each other to navigate without the judgment, without the push, without the making someone else feel like that I have to put you down in order for me to feel like I'm growing. And speaking of growth, I want to talk to us educators. Come on, educators, let's talk for a second. Did you know that the art of growth actually has the process of growth in anything that is alive is a process of breaking cells? Some metabolic function within your body, in order for your body to grow, your brain to grow, in order for you to experience growth. Plants, animals, humans, anything that is alive, the process of growth actually comes from through combustion and breaking of something that's already there. Building while broken. Join me on this Zoom if you can. If not, I'm going to put a link in here where you can come into the community and join us as we navigate and go through this book. The book not only is just a book, but we have 5 resource guides to help you go through the book process. The resource guides follows each part of the book to help really instill the tools that you need, because it's not just one dimensional. Your pain, your brokenness, your insecurities didn't just come from one space. It's a culmination of life, experiences, things that people and society have taught you to think and feel. And you could be the strongest sister out there. You could be the strongest leader out there. And those of us, all of us have said, oh, that doesn't bother me or that. But listen, I'm here to tell you, as a human being, as a breathing human soul, there is something that has impacted your decision making, positive and negative. So let's talk about it. I hope to see you in the Zoom. If not, I hope to see you in the peer group so that we can learn how to build together and not be afraid of our brokenness. I'll see you guys soon.